Good evening. And like I told you, what Progate On Air is, Progate On Air are live YouTube sessions with experts from tech industries to help you build a perfect roadmap to your dream companies. So basically, there are many people who have learned from the community some time back, and they have acquired the knowledge and have been placed into very good companies. And now they want to give back to the community. So these sessions are with them, and they help you out with the like the problems which you're facing while learning, because you all are in like first, second and third year of colleges. So you want to know what is the path, right? So these experts will be helping you with various queries and various questions which they can answer for you. Yeah. So my introduction. So I was the person who has sent you the communication about Progate On Air. I manage the India community for Progate, and we have been organizing various community events in India, like Learning Weekends, Progate On Air, Learning Jams, Code with Ken, and we are always ready to help the students to take their first steps towards coding. So before we start, let me just let you know what Progate is, because most of you know what about Progate, but for the ones who have joined us for the first time today, let me tell you about Progate. So Progate is an online coding education platform for absolute beginners. So we have basic learning on our platform. So it's for someone who wants to switch their career from a non-technical to technical, or someone who has no background of computer science and wants to start their journey. So basically first, second, third year, like first years when they come to colleges, so they sometimes it happens that they have not opted for computer science in their 11th and 12th. So for that purpose, Progate is there to help you out from the very basics. They start from zero level for you to learn step by step and do the slide based learning, not long videos or textbooks, but learning, and at the same time you can code. So we have around 1.5 million users across 100 plus countries all over the world. And it like basically Progate is designed to help you learn coding online, and so that we can help you to become an independent coder. So the vision of Progate has always been to empower everyone to open new doors through programming. So we believe that programming is a power that can change you and that can help you to become someone independent, right? So if you have good programming skills, if you have good problem solving skills, you will be able to open new doors. You will be able to solve some new questions. So what happens is there are so many problems near us, right? So that can be solved through programming. For example, if I give you an example, like traffic lights, there was so many traffic, right? There was so much traffic in this world, but traffic lights, someone programmed, someone coded the traffic lights, right? And they came up with a solution for this. So there are so many problems in our surroundings. We always need a solution to that, and that can be even solved with programming. So that has the coding has that much level of power. Mission of Progate is to become the gate to the exciting world of programming, and so that you can start your programming from the very basics and also give you the path, because there are so many languages in this world, and there are so many languages, and when we start to learn something we get confused from where we should start, which language we should choose first. So Progate's mission has always been to help you with the first programming language which you can choose, and also not leave you there. We want to help you with the path so that you can learn what language you should learn after the first language which you have learned. So this has been the mission of Progate, and yeah. So this was something which I wanted to share with you all, so that you can also know that what community work we are doing across India, and we are trying to help the students take their first steps with all the community members. So yeah, now let me introduce you to the speaker of today. Yes, so we have Sarthak Jain. He is currently working as a business technology analyst at ZS, and so he has also worked as a product manager with coding blocks in the past, and he has a very good expertise with with all the domains of web technologies, and he will be helping you with today. So today's session is basically about technologies which you should focus in 2020. We all know, right? We all know that there are so many languages in web technologies, but which we should choose first, which path we should follow, and what tools we should use, how we can make the project, and all those questions you will be getting your answers today from Sarthak Jain. So, Sarthak, welcome to Progate On Air today. Yep.
Hello. Thank you, Ankita. Thanks, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you? Can somebody confirm they can hear me? Hello.
Yes, Sarthak, you're audible.
Okay. So let's start with some basics. So, what is the demographic of audience out there? So, in which year or which area are you from? Which college? Or if you are from school, or maybe if you are from working industry. So, if you could explain, you could write in comment section from where you are, so I could get a better idea to explain in depth. Or maybe if you want to interact in a better way, you can explain like how is COVID treating you. Even that's good also. So what I want at this session to be as interactive as possible. So if you are will be more interactive in the comment section, that will be more helpful for me. So yeah, hello everyone. Hello who are writing comments. Thank you so much. Uh, so to give an idea, what I want is this is going to be a generic session, not more focused on some particular framework or not focused more on some specific or drill down technology. It will be a overview session kind of thing. So you will get more idea about what are different technologies out there, what are industry doing nowadays, what we are thinking, what developers are thinking, what's the previous like past history, what presently we are doing, and what's the future road framework looks like for the web development industry. Okay, so okay, we have Ayush from first year electronics communication. Okay, cool. That's good. That's good that you all are joining. So basically, what I want to discuss about something about me. So I'm currently a business technology analyst at ZS Associates. I was previously working with as an associate product manager at Coding Blocks. Uh, I have offered from College Dunia, ID5, Extra Securities, Unilogers, and Coding Blocks indeed. So if you know about these companies, I have been actively working with OnePlus and XDA. So you could see my uh, work, some of my work at the communities at there. Uh, you could also find my GitHub profile and all those things. So there are some activity out there for the open source and community perspective. And uh, at the end of the day, I have been to many workshops and many sessions where I was as a speaker or even a mentor, sometimes a judge at hackathons and all those things. So this is about me. And at last, since it's a you can say a web development session, I have my website to present you. So there is my website sarthakj.me. That's a personal website. Uh, because if I don't have a website, what's the point of taking this session, right? So you can have a look at it. It's a very simple website. Just you can say personal resume kind of thing, resume for me. And then who along wants to talk to me about something, they can shoot me a mail at the same below ID. Yeah. So far so good. I think the you are good, and let's move to why. Like first thing, before starting to do something, we should ask a question, or if someone is asking us to do something, we should ask this question: why? That's a very important question. Why we should do this? Also, one thing, if you can tell me more about like what was the agenda, what were things you could want to discuss, you can also comment section. I will be answering many of your questions from the comments part that are more generic and more like will be answering more of the questions of audience. I will be picking them and answering them. Uh, Also, one thing. So yeah, why web? If you have any idea, like why web development, or what would be uh, the journey behind these things, right? Okay, so I can see that some of the students are interacting with. Yeah. So, well, yeah, I am from CSC background. Yeah, right. I am from CSC background, but I don't think so. Web technology has any part to do that it's per se. So even my mother sometimes do development work. My brother, he's from the like let's say EC branch. He is also doing web work, and one of my friend, he's from mechanical. He's a very good developer. So I guess branch is nothing more of sort of way. And even one of my friend is from BCA. They are from even BCom. They are doing very good work with the web part. So basically any particular field is not important. Okay. Coming back to the actual question. So why web? So basically, there is ease of access. One can easily communicate with websites like across your mobile, tablets, and laptop. You are surrounded by websites. You are surrounded by services you use. Uh, it's like as easy as to type few words and just bang, you are on their page. You are accessing their services. You are utilizing them, or you can even communicate with them. So this is why web. It's easy to use, easy to you can say do everything. So it's so easy in this perspective because considering different field. So we have Android development, we have iOS development, we have desktop apps development. Even sometimes we are working on a or more complex level architecture. So we have like compiler development or all those things. But I find web is very easy. So there are steps where you could just build apps without doing so much of the coding part, or you could do much more coding or much more granularity and move into it, right? So ease of access is one thing. It's easier for you to build, and it's easier for your users or your community what you are trying to target to reach out to you. Okay. So I believe if someday you start want to present yourself, or if you want to start your business, uh, I think web is the first way to go. There are many businesses there out there. They don't have any Android or iOS app till date, and they are doing very good on the web part, right? Uh, Obviously, there are some services that require you to develop some apps. So previously, when I was working with coding blocks, we only had our web platform till like 2018 or 19. So we had our first app launch in 2019, late 2019. So this is what a business kind of approach. You can easily start with web, and then when you get more time, when you get more things, you can move on forward to that. Okay. Then there is appeal for tech job. So you can see all the major startups out there, major companies that are growing so long. So you have heard of Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, uh, even Amazon, or any company out there. There are tech companies, and they do a rigorous hiring for the technical roles. Uh, you have heard about like humongous packages out there, like 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs per annum, or even crores packages in terms of crore. So this is a very handsome pay scale, right? So straight out of college, if you are earning like crore, what's better than that, right? So all those things obviously require, at the end of the day, you have to some have hard skills. But yeah, there is one new door opens for you when you learn more about web, right? Uh, okay, some of the questions are coming on. Yeah, I would like to answer them, but they are right in few slides in the future. So stay tuned to that, right? We will be discussing a lot more about web and how to get internship and jobs out of it. Okay. And third part is so if you are keenly interested in shaping the future or solving problems, so if you have that kind of mindset that I can easily solve that problem, I can easily think of that logic, how to do that, right? Snap, you give me a problem and I give you a solution. What, right? Or if you like to build a solution, so someone has thought of some solution, but like implementation is also part. Okay. thinking is difficult, but more difficult is to implement it, right? So if you're interested in that, you can start with web. So you develop things, you shape the future, you solve some problems out there, right? So this is the main agenda why web. So there are some very very good perks around it, right? Also there is some community respect, there is some interaction, there is some networking. You understand things on a different level, right? This is one of the best things for me. When I started learning about web, I can understand like how this thing is happening, why this company is doing this way and not that way. Or I and one thing also, that I don't generally lash out on companies if something is buggy or in. So if something is not working, I can understand that problem because I might be working on the same product someday before, and that was also not working. So I can understand on that level. So there is a new level of patience, or you can say understanding. Yeah, bugs do occur, problems do create, right? Okay, coming back to things. So how many things do you need to learn, like how to develop websites, or you can web apps or something like that? How many things do you need to know? So some say you need to know like tons of things, tons of frameworks, tons of libraries. You need to install tons of apps to start working on it. But that's not what I assume. So a simple web person can go up and write a text in a text document, some HTML lines of code, and save it as HTML. You can bang, your first web page is ready, right? I'm saying web page, but yeah, in theoretical sense, you can start building or more web pages. You can then combine in, you can do redesign, you can attach a database with it, and then improve or more functionalities around it and make a website. But yeah, for things to start, even after a session, after the session, you might like kick in and just build your first web page or first website, right? So that's that. But there are some few things I expect you to learn. If you have not, or if you know, that's very good. So there is something around the lines, uh, GitHub. So you need to know Git and GitHub. So basically Git for the command line and your version control system, like how to do things. And similarly on the same line, you need to learn about some code, like command line interface and how to use that. So every time you won't get a GUI interface for doing things. So it will be good if you could learn some command line, even if you're on Windows or if you're on Linux or a Mac system, it would be good, right? Uh, then other things that are like there are web browser tools. So whenever you're so like visiting some website or doing some work, there are some web developer tools. So you can open source code, you can inspect an element, like how this element has been designed, what are the classes used, what are different things that are being used, right? Uh, are you guys understanding? Are you guys listening? What's happening? Are you guys making something out of it? Right? That would be good if you can write in comment section if you have any issue with that, or even if you want me to change the language or tone down some pace or increase my volume, just let me know in comments and I will do that. Yeah. Okay. So so far so good. Uh, Things are going great. So let's begin. Take on your laptop and take on your screen and bang on. We are working on it. Okay. Then there are some things to develop website. So simple web page can be made on like text document, but to make a more complex version or more, you can say, better version, you need some code editor kind of thing. So personally, I would recommend VS Code because it comes with different extension that you could use. Like one of the best used extension is Live Server. So whenever you want to test your website before publishing, you want to test it on how it would look on a server. Okay, we will discuss in brief what is server and what is a machine or what all these things are. But just to give an idea, you need some text editor. You can say code editor where you can code and check out things. Okay, and you need some your Git account and your browser to access all those websites, right? And understanding of browser dev tools. So browser dev tools are inspect element, all those things. Okay, and even we are moving forward to some maybe complex websites. We can also think of like doing managing package managers and all that, right? Okay, moving forward. So web is more majorly divided into like front end and back end. That's the most basic division you could do out there on the basis of things that how things are working. So front end and back end. That's the most used term you might have heard. Okay. Uh, that's the most common terminologies that you might have. There are several definitions out there for it on granular level, but to a better understanding, what you are seeing right now, like uh, maybe if you're on YouTube desktop or your website, then what you are seeing on your web page, that's the front end part, right? The things you are visualizing, things with you're interacting, like that's a presentation of the product or the idea that company has presented to you, right? That's the front end. uh, like it's in the word, right? Front part. Okay. So you get a pretty good picture, like what the things are, like different things you can see, how a banner has been presented, what buttons are in shape. So there are square buttons, there are cubicle buttons, and all those things, 3D effects, and all those things. That is all part of front end, right? And similarly, to support all those things, there is backend. Obviously, for both the functionalities, we have to code, but backend does not have a like more GUI feel. So on server, these lines of code you are running, you can see all those lines running out in there. Uh, this is mostly like handled by web server part that is interacting with you and as well as the database. So to bring out some details, to bring out some things along the lines. So yeah, that's the backend part. Okay. I guess you are clear about like what front end backend means. So backend is more, which is working on the back part of your things. That, for example, front end can be considered the skin of your body. So uh, what color of complexion is that, or maybe some of the facial expressions or some kind of things. That is all part of front end. But how things are working internally. So when you move your hand, there is some nerves sending signals. There are some things to be done. So that is all done by backend. So there are nerves and blood veins that are working on it. So they are backend. Okay. Again, so to give you a pretty good idea, uh, we will be using a lot of analogies out there in terms of web development session to give you a pretty good picture about it. Okay, Dhruv says you are not clear. Can you give me a like idea of what you are not clear? Okay, just ignore the GIF part. GIF part is just to give you an idea. You don't have to read the lines in it. You won't understand anything. That's the some sample file. Even yeah, like you try to copy it, replicate it, it won't work because you don't know the front and end part of it. So just ignore the GIF. That's just to give you an idea what backend actually looks like. Okay. Anything else you are not clear about on the front end backend part? My audio or video is clear, right? If there is an issue with that, you can also just let me know instantly. Okay. So Dhruv, backend, you can consider more on the things that, so whenever you go on website, you, let's say, you go on Book My Show and make a movie booking. So how does that website knows what shows to display you? What are the different theaters? So there must be a database maintaining all those theater, all those seat numbers and timings and all those schedules, right? And along with that database, there must be a backend acting at it. So there's this part of the website that is interacting you and giving you services. So whenever you make a website, if it's only displaying information, it is known as static website. But whenever you're interacting with in a better way, so you can make some bookings or you're doing some transactions or some things that require some calculations to be done, some processing to be done. That is all taken care by backend. Like that's the part which is uh, you can say running on the server itself. Okay. Uh, we will be discussing more that in the depth part, right? But just to give you a picture. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Just ignore the gifs. That's just to give you a feel of it. Just ignore them. Okay, right. So there are like command line interface and the other one just VS Code and all those things, but just ignore them. Okay. Moving forward, this will give you a pretty good idea. So front end is what like things look. So things look differently on your mobile, things look differently on tablets, they look differently on your laptop, and this is all maintained by front end. Like what screen sizes, what pixels are to be managed, what thing is to be placed in what. So when you think things are not aligning good, when things are not colorful, this is this is because of front end issues, not back end issues, right? But if you're not able to do something, if you're not able to complete your transactions in some sort of way, there is some blockage, or if you see some error codes that this server is not performing well, that's the backend part, right? Because backend is not doing the transaction calculations for you, processing for you, and you're just seeing that the UI of that, but you are not able to perform some function. So consider like same human body analogy. Uh, your skin is good, you're looking good, but what if you're like sleeping? You're not doing anything, right? So you cannot raise your hand or move around, right? So backend is for just analogy part. Backend is you can say detached at that point, right? So if you are functioning like a human person, so you're moving, you're walking, you're talking, that's the backend part initiating all those things, right? Okay. And okay. So there's that you see. So what users see is like more 20% of the total effort. So that's something the people say. For a front end person, that might be a little different number. For back end person, that might be a little different person. For some other people, that might be a different person. So front end is mostly what you are going to see, but backend takes more calculation and processing on the at the stuff, right? Okay. Next, moving on to a more complex thing. So there is a client side and a server side rendering. So I'm switching to Hindi to like make you a better understand. अभी तक क्या हो रहा था कि हमारी machines are were not that powerful. Like assume like 1980s or 90s, around that time, you were not having even personal laptops that were that maybe personal desktop that are even that powerful. So what the companies used to do, they used to process all the data on the server and then render that page, that HTML page or that website on your system directly. Okay. So what you were seeing is like just rendered or processed page directly on your system. So because your client machines were not powerful at that time, but now you can see you have like 8 or so 16 32 gigs of RAM. You have this complex processor that are running on 5 nanometer, 7 nanometer, 10 nanometer chipsets. There are billions and billions of transistors. You have like SSDs running out there with high performance speeds. So and even the best part is the high net connectivity. So we have 3G, 4G, 5G, even Wi-Fi 5, 6 gigahertz standards. So you have very good amount of data coming in out, right, really fast. So that's good infrastructure is coming along, and clients have powerful machines. So they have changed this approach with mainly due to JavaScript libraries coming along. But what they have done is they serve the code on your client machine, and then client machine with their, like you can say, engine, or you can say processes, they convert it, right? uh, Abhijit, we will discuss all those questions in the slides later on, right? Just so patience, yeah. uh, no issue, you just keep on pouring your questions. Like if you are facing any issue, like if you are not understanding, feel free to pinch in. I will definitely give you a funny analogy about it, right? So uh, consider something like client side or server side is something. So if you want go to a restaurant, right? So कुछ रेस्टोरेंट ऐसे होंगे जहाँ पे आपके टेबल पे ऑर्डर आ रहा है. So they process the food, they make it like, so maybe you have ordered noodles or pizza or something like that. वो पूरा वो prepare करते हैं and waiters come and they serve on your table, right? Just you just have to eat it. So this is more like server side rendering. Server has done all the part, or you can say cook and waiters have all done the part, and they have served you on the table. Client side is more typical version. So when you go to a buffet, so you have to go to different tables. So if you're, let's say you're going to a marriage, you have to for like receptions and wedding, all those things, you go to different tables and you take things according to you. So for example, if you are taking some things on your plate, or if you are not taking some things, you can go with starters, you can go with main course, you can go with desserts. So this is something like that. So maybe you are on laptop, so you will get a different kind of view. If you're on mobile, you get a different kind of view. But that is all rendered by your client. So uh, how Chrome renders it, or how Firefox renders it, and how your like what machine you're using. For example, I'm using a laptop or I'm using a phone. So these are all things. uh, I guess that restaurant buffet problem analogy makes more sense to you, right? Okay, moving forward. Single page application, right? So one of the best benefits that came along with these kind of things that we had more powerful laptops or more powerful client machines. You can say client are we people, right? The users that are interacting, and server are like you can say the company part that is sending information on you. So whenever you click like google.com, so you are seeing the page, but the server is sending all those information. So that is server, and you are the client, right? So with the high power and machine clients and development in the JavaScript and all those coding, we the single page application came into effect, right? Single page application. You might have interacted with it like on a daily basis or something around that. But after this session, you will definitely notice it, right? So what it does is whenever you do things on a website, so maybe you click on some page, or maybe you do some functionality, maybe some click button or submit a form or something like that. It does not render the whole page again and again, right? It what it does is maybe like on the same page functionality changes, the UI changes itself, right? So that is single page application. Okay. So how you have used like Gmail. So whenever you click on a mail, it displays the mail, but like your page does not render completely. So this what it does is like it takes a lot of time in the start to render the page, but after that it's a smooth process. It's like fast. You just click on it and it will render the new view. If you do that, that it will render the new view. So there is Google Maps, there is Twitter, there is Google Drive doing this stuff. Like thousands and thousands of websites, even thousands or millions and billions of websites that are using this functionality, because it makes more sense to users, right? They don't have to wait for every function. They don't have to consume more data at every function or every task they do. Okay, make sense? So there are billions of websites which you have interacted with. Notice that the website does not change. So whenever you click on something or you do some stuff, there is small processing line going on top of your browser, right? So whenever you let's say do google.com or maybe visit some website, the first time it loads the website and you see the processing line on the top of your browser or in the URL bar, uh, but it does not remain at that after if you do some more things, right? So that processing bar does not come frequently. So that means your page is not loading or rendering again and again and again, right? Anyone having any issue with single page applications or that? Okay, we have like come like somewhat around the session. So if you want to give some example where you have seen this, like one of your best websites out there, which have you used, I would really appreciate if you could like ping in comments what are the best websites you have used, or what are the best you can say single page application if you know if you used it. So or if you have not, then that's the best part, that you know this stuff now. So you can go over and check out these websites. So whenever you try this stuff, you will notice that immediately, this is a single page application. It does not keep on rendering or loading again and again and again after any functionality. Obviously there are times that even if you click on some page, it is going to some another functionality that has to load again, because of it's a different view altogether. But yeah. Okay, any website that you might like. So Vasant, that's a very different thing. So single page applications are dynamic websites per se. They're not static pages. Static pages are more like you're you're displaying some information, or you're not giving some functionality to interact with user. So user might not be able to do some transaction or maybe some watch a video. You're not directly interacting with some backend server or maybe some database. So that is a static page, right? But single page applications are dynamic and static, all both. Single page application interact. So basically, when you click some button, they do interact with database and they do interact with the server, but they do not load on your client machine again and again. So whenever the response comes, it directly changes that particular part that you have interacted with, or that is supposed to change when upon your function. Okay. तो ऐसा बहुत बार वेबसाइट पे होता होगा, जब आप जाते होगे, आप कुछ क्लिक कर रहे हो, आप कुछ कर रहे हो, तो वेबसाइट दोबारा लोड नहीं हुआ, वहीं वहीं कहीं चेंज हो गया. फॉर एग्जांपल मेल्स, लाइक you all use mail. So whenever you click on some mail on Gmail, it does not load whole page again and again, right? So that's single page application. Okay. Any other doubt? Anyone out there? Any single page application you have used or like something around that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. Wasn't. Okay. Moving forward. So, how does like history of SPA how does it come into being? So with the development of JavaScript, like JavaScript is you can say the backbone around it here, like you can say foundation stone for this part. So with JavaScript frameworks coming in, we were having different frameworks that were providing this functionality. So we have this like development of Ember, Angular JS, Angular 2, Angular 5, Angular 6, React, and we have Vue.js, we have HTML5. So that is HTML5 is not a JavaScript framework, but HTML version 5 that has been now that supports more of this functionality. So right, so you can say these became the foundation store for a single page applications, and users liked it. Users don't have to consume more data, they don't have to wait for a response again and again for the time, because so this was like a mutual, the developers were able to do that, and even users were able to use it and like it, right? And I'm very sure that after today you might be seeing you might be noticing this on more websites from now. So whenever you are going to some website, you will be quickly able to identify this is the SP or this is not. So some, if there's not a popular news website, like I don't know, or I even don't want to name some website, but news websites are not SPAs. If you click on some news article, they keep on loading again and again, again and again. Okay. uh, okay, so Dhruv is asking about YouTube. So what I would say is YouTube, whenever you click on video, like it renders onto that page, right? So YouTube, particularly on that part, is not single page, but different things that are working on it is single page application. Uh, okay, moving forward to that. So single page applications, we have learned about like what frameworks are there out there, like what different free uh, what different things you could use to make like single page applications. So there is React.js, this is Angular, and this is Vue. So these are the top three frameworks, what I would say, around there that companies use on large scale. Major companies, major startups, all those use it on like daily basis, or whenever you're creating new websites. This is the most common terminologies you might have. Okay. So any question out there? Yeah, I am saying that YouTube is an SPA, right? There is no confusion about it. Okay. Okay. Uh, so so these are all the frameworks out there, right? So to give you an idea, so React.js is backed by Facebook, and Angular is backed by Google, and Vue is backed by Alibaba, if you have heard about that. So it's like Chinese Amazon, or leader in China. Okay, so Vue is backed by that, and so these languages, these frameworks have been like major backing from uh, different companies out there, different communities out there. We have very strong community for out there. Okay, so they do have specific perks, you can say advantages or disadvantages associated with them. We will be discussing them later on the slides, but this is to give you an idea like what front-end developers are using right now. Okay. Yeah, right. So this is all the front-end part. We have not started on the back-end part yet. So whenever you combine these front-end technologies and all those areas of like what you else can do. So whenever front-end comes, you see the view part on the laptops and the your mobiles and all those things. And whenever you combine with your databases, your deployments, and all those things along with your back-end part, you become a full stack developer. Uh, that will be coming on the next part. Okay. Yeah, so this is all front end part. So what you're viewing or what you're using as a UI. So whenever these are combined with databases and the backend part, they are convert into their full stack part. So for React we have Mern, for Angular we have Mean, for Vue we have Maven. So these are full stack development things. When we combine MongoDB as a database and Node.js as a backend, you can say runtime machine for that part. So yeah, these are few. common examples you have heard about, like these are websites you have experienced, and these are examples for particularly what framework they are using at their service. So PayPal is using Angular, Sony is using Angular, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Netflix using React. So whenever you go on Netflix, that is using React. Okay. So Facebook and Netflix are like major supporters of these front-end frameworks like React and all those things. Okay. So if you are out there and if you are seeing your major companies, so if some people is seeing they have to go work for IPL, better note that, right? You have to learn Vue.js. Okay. Okay. So this is to just to get you an idea like what your companies are using. So later on when you want to target, you can use this. Okay. So what frameworks they are using and how they are doing it. Right. Okay. Okay. Moving on to backend part. Okay. We have learned a lot about like front end technologies, what is out there. Uh, we are so as I mentioned earlier, we will not be doing a hands-on part, but we will be understanding what different technologies are out there and how to use them. Okay. So to give you an idea, like moving up onto the backend part. So we have different backend frameworks, Django, we have Rails, we have Flask, we have Express, we have Spring. So these are different backend frameworks based on different languages. So to give you a picture, whenever whenever you're trying to cook some food, ठीक है, मम्मी क्या करती है, मम्मी कुछ गरम मसाला या कुछ चना मसाला या राजमा मसाला डालती है ओके खाने में, जैसे कि राजमा बना राजमा मसाला डालो. So this is something more of that. So you are trying to achieve some functionality with JavaScript, but whenever you put in some framework like Express, it does all the part for you, like most of the part for you. You don't have to do these things. Okay. Forever when you are using Java, there's framework called Spring. So Spring does most of the part. Spring is like the most common framework for it, the most used framework, like in terms of with Java. So if you are someday using a different language, you say Python. So you have Django and Flask as frameworks out there. So to help you, to support you to make your websites in a bigger sense. Okay. So consider them as boilerplates. Okay. Whenever you're making websites, you need some parts to be automatically done. ठीक है. कितना अच्छा नहीं होगा कि बहुत सारी चीजें ऑटोमेटिकली वो करके दे तुम्हें बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं खुद से स्क्रैच से ना बनानी पड़े. मतलब developers are much more comfortable in that sense, right? So frameworks do that, and backend frameworks come into play with different languages. So we have Django with Python. We have Rails, which is more like familiar with terms of Ruby on Rails because it uses Ruby as language, and so Rails framework came into being. And they have Flask again for Python, Express for JavaScript, Spring for Java. Okay. And to give you a pretty good idea what other companies are using these frameworks and how they are scaling. So you have Django used by Instagram, you have Udemy using Django, you have Uber using Node.js, Netflix using Node.js, Netflix again using Flask as well, okay, Lyft using Flask, and their Airbnb using Rails. You have GitHub that is using Ruby on Rails. Okay, so if you're familiar with GitHub and all those things, so even Stackshare is using Rails. So Stackshare is one of the best website where you can go and look which company is using which stack. So which what database or what front end frameworks or what backend frameworks or different mobile frameworks they are using, right? So keep that in mind, right? This is like overview kind of session. So we will not be drilling down to particular some framework or maybe particular functionality in depth, but we will be getting an idea what all things are doing, what we should do, and what we can do or what we are not aware of initially. So yeah, any questions so far? So in understanding backend, or you can say understanding front end, or even different things. Yeah, Vasant, React JS and React Native are different things. So basically, uh, you can say you to build mobile applications, we are using that. Okay, so we will come into that part also. Uh, right, I used we have multiple backend services for different parts. So there are some internal applications, there are some tools, there are some microservices. So we can use different frameworks at the same time. So nobody company relies on only one framework, right? So all the major companies out there, they are using multiple framework. So agar abhi just if you go on Stackshare and see any company you search for, the frameworks that are listed, so these are all framework they use. So uh, to give you an idea, uh, LinkedIn. So basically, we all use LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn uses a Spring framework based on Java, right? But they do use other frameworks as well, right? For different functionality. So there is some limitation with different frameworks. So they move on to different framework for different part. Okay. Uh, this is all part of bigger picture. अगर आपको कुछ shortcomings मिल रही है तो आप उसको दूसरी solution से solve करोगे, right? So we use multiple backend even front end frameworks for different part. Okay. Moving on, we have a new thing which is common in 2020. This is progressive web apps. So uh, so there are times you are visiting some website and it prompts up and says, "Do you want to install this application?" So there is, maybe you have, I don't know, but if you have gone to Tinder or maybe if you have gone to Swiggy or MacMyTrip, they do prompt this kind of things, right? So it installs like an application on your system or maybe your mobile, and uh, provides all those functionality. So basically, you don't have to use uh, you don't have to see that Chrome part in the part. Okay, you actually it's showing you the app kind of thing. Okay, it's not an actual app. It's look like an app. Okay, so many websites, like if you go on to them, they do provide this functionality to download them or install them as an app. So they are using this progressive web application kind of things. So there are times that that majority of your users are coming on mobile and you don't have bandwidth, or you don't want to go into development of Android or iOS app. You just build up a progressive web app, and boom, you give an option to your users to download that app, right? So yeah, everything is done like a normal browser thing, but it's in the app part. Okay, it looks like it gives a feel of a pseudo app, you can say. Uh, so Dhruv, to be particular, we don't have like half kind of thing, but some particular functionality uses some kind of thing, and some other functionality uses different kind of thing. So there are websites that are built majorly like combining different things. ठीक है, तो घर में अगर कोई सब्जी बन रही है तो मसाला भी आएगा, नमक भी आएगा, सब्जी भी आएगी, ठीक है, तेल भी आएगा, ठीक है। तो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट चीज़ों के लिए डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कर रहे होंगे, ठीक है। और फिर मसाले इज लाइक मोर लाइक फ्रेमवर्क, यू कैन से। तो किसी कंपनी को MDH का मसाला पसंद होगा, किसी को किसी और कंपनी का मसाला पसंद होगा, ठीक है। और कंसिडरिंग द फैक्ट दैट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फंक्शनैलिटी यू वांट टू अचीव, ठीक है। किसी वेबसाइट की book my show books something, and there are some show that is an e-commerce website, so that will be a different kind of thing. So there is some blogging website, so that will be a different kind of thing. So upon depending on that, you will use on coming back to masala, you will use chana masala for making chana, or you will use rajma masala for making rajma, right? Or shahi paneer masala for making shahi paneer. So to cater that different functionality, use different masala, that is framework. And on a bigger picture, you use multiple kind of masala, or you can multiple kind of things like namak or tail or sabji to make that particular website or make that complex architecture. Okay, but at any point of time, I am not saying you have to learn all those things. Okay, this is like you have choice to learn some of the skill set. You can pick out these skills and add in your resume or add in your skill set to like to be more appealing to maybe employers and recruiters out there, or to be more you can say worthy of some opportunity. Okay, it makes more sense that you know these things that are more used in 2020. Okay, moving forward to the next part. Okay, so you from now on, let's start noticing some apps that are trying to get like prompt you to install on their application on your phone, right? So uh, definitely you will understand that that is a PW, that is a progressive web app. Okay, moving forward, we have AMP. Hello, yeah, I'm audible and my screen is visible, right? Okay. Cool. So moving forward, we have AMP. So AMP is previously used to known as accelerated mobile pages. Google is a big promoter of that. So what happens is whenever you visit some website, it takes a lot of loading and a lot of time. And like there are clients that are not, like you say, not powerful enough or not supported by enough data, or you can say bandwidth. So they get a laggy experience or bad user experience. And so Google promoted this kind of open source project that you should make your website uh, uh, with AMP. So what AMP does, it make your things goes fast, it loads faster on web pages. Uh, so so you can see some major big companies out there, like news websites or blogging websites, they use AMP. So I guess that is TechCrunch, or you can say, if you know Android Authority, they use AMP kind of thing. So it loads faster on your web mobile, and you can easily read it, right? If you have to wait a lot of time, or if you have to use a lot of bandwidth for it, you might hate the user experience. Okay, so this is all about like achieving the fastness. Okay, um, ऐसा होगा कि जब आपके वेबसाइट पे कोई यूजर आ रहा है, तो उसका अगर फर्स्ट इंटरेक्शन अच्छा नहीं है, तो इट विल दे विल लीव द पेज, ठीक है, दे विल नॉट यूज द वेबसाइट अगेन, दे विल नॉट ट्राई टू वेबसाइट अगेन, राइट? सो दिस amp comes into fiction picture, right? So amp is amp, you can see like ampere kind of thing, or you can see like it's a power surge. Okay, that's why I've used that flash gif. Okay, so far so good, everyone is getting understanding what I'm trying to say. We have PWA, we have SPAs, we have AMPs. Okay, moving forward with how are they different and what should you choose, right? Okay, so depending upon your functionality, so there are times that you want to achieve some functionality, depending upon what things you want to do. You have to choose it. So sometimes, like, for example, if you're a blogging website, you want your user to just click and snap, they are seeing the web page and they could read your blogs or some articles, or maybe something. You could prefer AMP kind of thing. But if you're providing a whole lot set of functionalities, and your users are mostly on mobile kind of thing, so you can provide them a progressive web app kind of thing, so they can install that application, use that experience. Like, you don't have to actually develop an Android or iOS application, but you can give them the functionality of an application. Okay, so this is based on your what your product want to do and what are you more comfortable with. Okay, coming back to JavaScript frameworks. So we discussed many things. So JavaScript, this language, which supports whole lot of frameworks, which are front-end frameworks, which have back-end frameworks, we have mobile framework, we have server frameworks, we have different things. Okay, so for example, to achieve different functionality, we use different frameworks, right? So framework is, you can say, a lot kind of helper kind of thing. Okay, so whenever you go someplace, you need a wingman kind. Okay, so that's wingman is your framework. You're trying to build some website, and wingman, your framework comes into picture and helps you do that. Okay, so frameworks help you a lot with that part. Frameworks does that part very beautifully. Okay. Okay, Aishwarya asked what web development tools you use the most. So it is more dependent on what kind of product or what kind of thing you are achieving. Okay. In my personal experience, I use Linux machine and then VS Code on top of it, and uh, so this is that's the tool setup I use, and Firefox Developer Edition. That's the my browser for testing things. Okay, and for front end part, I use this app Responsibly UI, so which instantly tells me how my website looks on tablet, laptop, and computer, and even on mobiles like iOS mobile or a Samsung mobile, or any other mobile, or what screen size is a different resolution. So that's their app. That's a well designed product. Okay. I think it's also currently in beta, or I can say mid of beta or public stable state. But yeah, I use that app a lot. So different functionalities are achieved by different frameworks. So there are like tons of frameworks out there for achieve different functionalities, because it's all about saving time and saving effort, right? तो अभी मुझे मुझे कुछ मतलब वही अगेन मुझे सब्जी बनानी, बट मेरे को नहीं पता ना कि मेरे को किस स्ट्रेंथ में कितनी लाल मिर्ची डालनी है या हल्दी डालनी है या कुछ और डालना है, नहीं पता आइडिया लगा, मैं सीधा उठा के मसाला डाल देता हूँ, वो मिक्सचर ऑफ दीज थिंग्स। ओके, या फिर मैं आप मार्केट से जाके मतलब वो लेकर आ जाते हो मैगी मसाला, इट कंटेन्स ऑल दोज थिंग्स राइट इन द राइट प्रोपोर्शन। खुद से अगर मैगी मसाला बनाने लगे तो कितनी मेहनत होगी, राइट, कितना टाइम लगेगा. वही सेम थिंग दिस फ्रेमवर्क फॉर डू फॉर यू. Okay. Coming back to the most important part, like what was the out there for you. So uh, you need these, you need to understand this, you need to learn this. So for the jobs and internship, right, you want to get jobs out of your college, you want to get internships out of college, uh, and how these frameworks or how developing websites can help you, or how to use in your advantages, right. Okay. Like this is the, I guess, most common question you might be having before entering the session, right? So let's go into that. So first is the research and learning part. Okay, first is why I emphasize more on research part, because you should know what you're trying to learn, and uh, what is you're trying to achieve. Okay, so in ideal case of scenario, I would recommend you should learn Angular, Vue, and React, and then, or maybe Ember and all those frameworks, and then decide which clicks with you or which you like more. But that is not feasible at this stage, right? So you have to do research part. You have to research and then learn. So if you research about different front end frameworks or different back end frameworks or different languages out there, their usability, their scope, which companies are using, what is our trend. So there might be a language that was not used like 10 years ago, but that is like topmost used language right now. Okay, so we hear a lot of about JavaScript, but major companies out there, they are using Java. Okay, so major companies like LinkedIn or major companies that are switching from their frameworks to Java framework, like Spring frameworks. Okay, Spring framework. So this is because they have different kind of appetite for it. uh, Vasant, who developed these all frameworks. So there are different functions, there are different people, there are different communities that are developing frameworks. So there are open source frameworks, there are frameworks. So basically, Rails is like pure community project, and some frameworks are backed by. So I said React. So React is developed by Facebook. Okay, so there is Angular that's developed by like Google. Okay, so there are different frameworks, and they do different kind of things. Okay. Uh, yeah, so coming back to the part, so you have to research a lot, you have to learn a lot, like what your friends are doing, what your seniors are doing, what is currently demand in industry. So long ago, even my seniors used to do PHP, but only previous, or you can say legacy website companies are using PHP right now. More websites are not using it, right? Okay, it has a set of pros and cons, uh, you can say, but with time changes, with you have different things. Okay, so there was time that we have a you can say a wider reach for Angular, but not right now. So companies are not adapting with more with Angular, or they are not using Angular in so much fashion these days than previously. Okay, so you have to research a lot. Once you research, once you finalize which framework you have to use or which functionality you have to use, you just click on it and start learning it. So there are different platforms out there, different portals. So there is one basic thing is YouTube. Then you have Progate, or you have different seniors or different programs, different uh, websites available, different YouTubers that are helping you out there to learn this website. And to learning phase, so as you can say, I have just mentioned in between of learning and action time is just making projects. So as part of your learning, you start making projects, and like, so you start with basic calculator and note to do or notes kind of app, and then you make more complex kind of things. Okay, you make more complex websites, you make more, you give more functionality to it. Okay, so this is making projects. So it will look good on your resume. People can use it. Okay, and with those projects, so you make website, but they are on your local system. ठीक है, तुमने घर पे बनाया खाना, पर तुम्हारे घर पे ही है. तो how would I know, or how would some other person know कि तुम बहुत अच्छा खाना बना सकते हो. ठीक है, तो अगर ऐसा शेफ बनना है, तो तुम्हें वो खाना अच्छा बनाने के साथ साथ दूसरों को खिलाना हो. दूसरों को खिलाने का मतलब you have to host your website, so that publicly one can come and visit your website, one can interact with your website, one can learn things, one can see what your projects have been made, right? So uh, yeah, I initially mentioned, right, कि जो सैलरी पैकेज होता है वो काफ़ी अच्छा होता है. So we have uh, we have web developers that are killing with 40 LPA, 50 LPAs, right? but you have even 12 LPS as a fresher, you have 20 LPS as a fresher. So this is all more dependent on what framework you know, how much expertise do you have in that, like number of projects or number of companies you have worked with, and the company you're targeting also. Okay, so a startup might not be able to provide you a better package in in some sense, but maybe a major company like Amazon or Google might be able to provide you a better package for that particular framework of knowledge. Similarly, a funded startup will be able to provide you a better package or compared to a not so funded startup. Okay, so that is that. Like package varies across organizations, package varies across your functionality. So this is, but the universal fact is that you get a higher package than jobs out there for freshers. Okay, you go for web development jobs, or you can say you technical jobs, you tend to get a higher package. Okay, right. Hosting makes it difficult. So typically, we love to use free things. So uh, you can easily host your website for freely. You can even buy domains for your website freely. So domain is one thing that, like, google.com or facebook.com. So you can have xyz.com or xyz dot something dot net or dot something. Okay, so that domain is also freely available, but you have to play your cards right. It's kind of thing कि आपको थोड़ा गूगल करना होगा, आपको थोड़ा रिसर्च करना होगा कि हाउ टू गेट देयर फ्री डोमेन, हाउ टू गेट देयर फ्री होस्टिंग. So I got my free domain at Namecheap, and you can get a free hosting at GitHub Pages. तो जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं उनको आप GitHub पे डालने की एक हैबिट बनाओगे, तो you can freely host them. ठीक है, most of my projects are hosted on GitHub Pages only. ठीक है, there are companies that are using GitHub Pages as their official hosting provider. So there is Netlify, there are other services that provide you this kind of thing. Okay. हाँ, but this is a priority for you. Like आपने प्रोजेक्ट बना लिया, बट अगर आपने उसे होस्ट नहीं करा, तो हाउ वुड आई इंटरेक्ट विद इट, और हाउ वुड सम पर्सन इन फ्यूचर इंटरेक्ट विद इट? For like, you have showcased your project in your resume, but how would recruiter know? Someday recruiter or maybe some interviewer on your second or third round wants to try that software, wants to learn about it, want to use it. They will love it if you have hosted it. Like, it's add a specific kind of star to your resume, a specific star to your profile, that this person knows how to use hosting or how to host some project. Okay, so again, as I mentioned earlier, it's like अगर मेरी खुद की website नहीं है, how will I am eligible to showcase to learn to make a website, right? So I have hosted my website, I have hosted my projects on my GitHub. You can see and you can use them, you can interact with them. Okay. Take it for then the last part comes is apply for your jobs. So you have to apply for jobs, you have to update your resume, even make your resume online. So uh, I don't know, but you have used some online portfolios. So I do have my online portfolio. There are thousands of people out there, they make your online portfolio. So online portfolio is like online resume. See, things are changing, you are evolving digitally. So with this high bandwidth data and high things, you you get to showcase your things, right? So you got to update your resume, you got to apply for those things based on your profile. So I have learned this example. For example, I have learned this technology React. Okay, I know Node.js also. I have learned about MongoDB. So I could easily showcase that I'm a MERN developer, and then showcase different projects I have made using React as part, and then apply for jobs accordingly. Okay. So people tend to do things is they don't learn the stuff, they just apply for it, and then they think कि अरे यार मुझे जॉब क्यों नहीं मिला, अरे मेरी इंटर्नशिप क्यों नहीं हुई. ठीक है, it's good if you make some projects out of it. ठीक है, if you achieve more functionality. For example, I don't want to मेक अ ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट फॉर एग्जाम्पल. ठीक है, मुझे ई कॉमर्स वाली फंक्शनलिटी अचीव करनी है, ट्रांजेक्शन वाली, पर मेरे को ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट नहीं बनानी. तो व्हाट आई डिड, मैंने अपने पर्सनल वेबसाइट पे ही डोनेट नाउ करके एक बटन बना दिया, और उस पर मैंने ट्रांजेक्शन वाली फंक्शनलिटी अचीव करी, राइट? तो you could achieve different functionalities on your single app also, single project also. ठीक है, तो you can also say कि मैंने ट्रांजेक्शन वाला पार्ट कर रखा है, मैंने कुछ क्लिक्स वाला पार्ट कर रखा है, मैंने कुछ कस्टम पेजेस बना रखे हैं, मैंने कुछ कस्टम थिंग्स बना रखे हैं खुद से. तो एक ही प्रोजेक्ट या एक ही ऐप में बहुत सारी फंक्शनलिटीज अचीव कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. So Ayush, I would not say there are different things. It majorly depends upon you and the company you're targeting or company you're applying for. Okay, So they might not have even backend jobs. So there are companies they only hire for full stack developers, or there are companies out there who only hire for front end developers as freshers and not backend developers. Okay, so अगर मैंने फ्रेशर को हायर ही नहीं करा किसी बैकएंड डेवलपर के लिए, तो मेरी स्टार्टिंग सैलरी अगर मैं 2 ईयर एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए तो मैं स्टार्टिंग सैलरी 20 lakhs दे रहा हूँ. ठीक है, तो यू कैन से देयर इज अ ह्यूज सैलरी डिफरेंस. ओके, so this is all depending upon granularity level, like what kind of job you are applying for, what in which company, on which expertise level. Okay, ठीक है, अगर for example there is a 2 year experience role, or it's a fresher role, or it's for a particular framework, or it's a multiple of frameworks along with that. Okay, so salaries and job profile vary accordingly. So you have a software developer profile, a web developer profile, React developer profile, full stack developer profile. Okay, or you have view developer profile. So these are different things, different you have to go in depth with. Okay, again Ayush, so I would suggest you to go to Glassdoor as a website. So anybody who is concerned more with the salary part, I would suggest that you should not be. You should be concerned on the skills part. अगर मेरा रिएक्ट या मेरा ये से फॉर एग्जांपल मेरा एंगुलर बहुत स्ट्रांग है, मेरे स्किल्स बहुत स्ट्रांग है, मैंने बहुत सारी फंक्शनलिटी अचीव कर ली एंगुलर के बेसिस पे, तो आई एम मोर श्योर कि मुझे कंपनीज हायर कर लेंगी, और दे माइट इवन हायर मी अ डिफरेंट पैकेज देन अदर और रेस्ट ऑफ द डेवलपर्स. ओके, so if you are targeting Google for backend or front end positions, it widely varies with which team they are hiring for, which genre. So you might be able to crack a 2 year experience role at your fresher also. मतलब I have my friends जिन्होंने 2 year experience role के लिए apply किया, and they have cracked that part, or they have cracked their job offer. ठीक है, so that also comes into play picture. ठीक है, generally speaking, they do have same salaries until unless you apply for a full stack kind of profile, because for a full stack you need to know front end and back end and other things as well. Okay, so for full stack it might differ like in a major way, but for back end and for front end profiles it's generally the same. uh, but what I would say is, like, you should not be focused more on let's say salary part. So if I say, let's say I say backend profile give you more salary, and you start applying, or you could start learning for backend part. Uh, but things is that front end part clicks with you. ठीक है, यू आर गुड विद डिजाइन, यू आर गुड विद यूआई. ठीक है, तो मुझे पता है कि मेरे को इस कलर का अच्छा लगेगा. ठीक है, अगर फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने यहाँ एक्शन टाइप के पीछे ग्रीन कलर की जगह बहुत वियर्ड सा कोई कलर यूज करा होता, या फिर फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर सीइंग सम दैट पर्सन दैट इज कोडिंग, उसने बहुत वियर्ड कलर यूज किया होता, तो दैट्स नॉट द राइट पर्सन फॉर फ्रंट एंड, इवन दो फ्रंट एंड की सैलरी ज्यादा. ठीक है, सिमिलरली फॉर बैक एंड पार्ट, अगर मैं लॉजिक्स नहीं सोच पा रहा हूँ, मैं उस फंक्शनलिटी को अचीव नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, ठीक है, तो बैक एंड इज नॉट द राइट पार्ट फॉर मी. ठीक है, so that also comes into picture. You don't have to precisely go for कि मुझे गूगल ही जाना है और बैक एंड जॉब के लिए जाना अभी. it is it's 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 this stage that you are a beginner, so abhi mostly you should be focused on researching part. What does backend do for me, what does front end do for me, and what are different functionalities I want to learn. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जांपल आपने बहुत डेप्थ में पढ़ा फ्रंट एंड ब्लॉग्स के बारे में, फ्रंट एंड के जो ब्लॉग्स के थ्रू पढ़ा, आर्टिकल्स के थ्रू पढ़ा, and you click कि हाँ front end is the right thing for me, it like aligns with my personality, so you could go for front end, and you will get a higher salary with that, right? Salary should be like least of worries at this stage. अभी फर्स्ट ईयर में हो, सेकंड ईयर में हो, अभी क्यों सैलरी की टेंशन, अभी स्किल्स की टेंशन लो. अगर स्किल्स होंगे रिज्यूम में, स्किल होगी प्रोफाइल में, ऑटोमेटिकली कंपनी विल हायर यू, ऑटोमेटिकली लिंक्डइन पे रिक्रूटर तुम्हें अप्रोच करेंगे इंस्टेड ऑफ अप्रोचिंग देम, राइट? ठीक है, so this is to give an idea. So many of you asked कि हमें एंगुलर यूज करना चाहिए, रिएक्ट यूज करना चाहिए, व्यू यूज करना चाहिए, या कोई और फ्रेमवर्क. So this is what I do for my research part. I go on Google Trends, I go and search for things. For example, frameworks मैंने search कर लिया, या फिर मैं language search कर लिया. Even if I want to host my website on some page, or if I want to use some service, so I try to do this research part. ठीक है, so to give in brief idea, Angular क्यों, if you can see that Angular का ग्राफ इंक्रीजिंग है, ठीक है, बट एक लेवल पे आने का स्टेगनेंट हो गया, एंड रिएक्ट ने उसको ओवर पावर कर लिया. क्यों? क्योंकि एंगुलर के साथ ये प्रॉब्लम था कि एंगुलर यूज टू प्रोवाइड अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, बट इन लास्ट 5 years एंगुलर के इतना वेरिएशन आया चेंजेस में. फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम यूजिंग दिस ऐप, अगर वो मेरा वर्जन 1 से वर्जन 2 गया, आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ चेंजेस, राइट? मुझे एकदम बहुत ज़्यादा चेंजेस मिलेंगे यूआई में, यूएक्स में, या यूज़ करने में, या मेरी जो मैं थर्ड पार्टी सर्विसेज यूज़ कर रहा हूँ उसके साथ वो फेल होने लगेंगे, तो आई माइट नॉट कंटिन्यू यूजिंग दैट. तो विद रिएक्ट दिस कम्स एज अ गुड पार्ट, एंड विद एंगुलर कम्स एज अ बैड पार्ट, कि एंगुलर वर्जन 1 2 5 6 ये जितने वर्जन आए उनमें बहुत ड्रास्टिक चेंज आ गए. लाइक इतना ड्रास्टिक चेंजेस था कि इट्स नॉट गुड टू से कि दे आर इवन एंगुलर. if you compare starting with angular 1 and angular 2 or angular 5 or angular 6, they are not like, they are not at all related in some sort of way. Okay, third party started breaking, your website started breaking when shift happened. Okay, but react के साथ ये थोड़ा smooth था. And there is one particular thing I want you to notice is that look at the graph of view. Okay, that's the graph that is gradually increasing, right? And it is going to increase further. So in recent, it's the highest increasing, or you can say wider acceptability. So abhi in present scenario, you have more jobs with React and you have more jobs with Angular. Okay, I would precisely say even more with React. But in the future, you can see to expect even more further jobs with Vue as well, right? So Vue has further backing from major companies out there. Vue is the like in community, people used to say Vue is the easiest learning graph. You can easily snap on it and you can start learning on it. You can achieve major functionalities with it. Okay, so that is one thing. Uh, So Aishwarya, what are the positive aspects of WordPress? So WordPress is a very different thing. WordPress pay you don't have to code specifically. These are what I'm asking is that uh, you have to scratch. You have to build a website from scratch, right? You have to implement all those functionality. अगर मुझे बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स लेवल का वेबसाइट बनाना है या बहुत अच्छे लेवल का वेबसाइट बनाना है, तो आई वुड यूज दैट. वर्डप्रेस इज रेकमेंडेड कि मुझे अभी कोडिंग नहीं करना है, बट मेरे को एक इंस्टेंटली कुछ वेबसाइट बनाना है. तो देर इज वर्डप्रेस आउट देयर, देर इज विक्स, देर इज, you can say, page square page and all those things that you can do just drag and drop. Even for website there are power apps, so you can just do drag and drop and you can write logics, and bang, your website is live, right? But this is more into things ki आई एम नॉट श्योर कि वर्डप्रेस डेवलपर के लिए कितनी हायरिंग होगी. लाइक बहुत ही नेग्लिजिबल पैकेज के साथ एज कंपेयर टू दीज डेवलपर्स. if you are a React developer, if you are a Vue developer, you will get a wider chance to approach companies or wider package or even like better understanding of things. Okay. Similarly, considering back to backend frameworks. So these are the popular frameworks and you can see a graph out there, right? So uh, अभी हम JS हर जगह सुनते हैं, ठीक है? You, I think any major senior, sorry, any senior और जिन कंपनीज का रेगुलरली सुन रहे होते हैं, जितने नेटवर्क का सुन रहे होते हैं, they are all recommending JS. But you see there is an all-time high graph of Spring. Spring is a framework based on Java. ठीक है? So this is the reality also you get when you research on parts. ठीक है? So, for example, Java is more scalable. Java has this different functionality that neither of languages has been able to achieve. Okay. Majority JS इसलिए famous है. What I think of personally is major startups जो भी हैं, they want कि फटाफट को हम कुछ बनाना start कर दें, and that the quick thing or that less of demanding. So basically एक ही JS डेवलपर है, उसको बैकएंड भी आता है, उसको फ्रंट एंड भी आता है. क्यों? क्योंकि JS सपोर्ट्स ऑल बोथ द थिंग्स साइमल्टेनियसली, राइट? सो उसको हायर करा, वेबसाइट बना के लाइव कर दी, तो ये प्रोडक्ट इज लाइव, यू आर लाइव, राइट? Okay, again, one thing, if you have any question till this part, or if you have confusion in the last slides, or just write in the comment section and I will get back to you with it. ठीक है? Okay, तो बैकएंड फ्रेमवर्क्स इसलिए एक्सप्रेस जेएस फेमस. सो एक्सप्रेस इज इसलिए फेमस है. एक्सप्रेस जेएस इज अ फ्रेमवर्क बेस्ड ऑन बैकएंड फ्रेमवर्क बेस्ड ऑन द जावास्क्रिप्ट लैंग्वेज. ओके, तो जावास्क्रिप्ट फेमस होने के साथ साथ एक्सप्रेस फेमस हुआ, बट एट you can see the yellow line, it is on the lowest end, right? You have Spring, you have Ruby on Rails as major out there, right? So to be clear, Rails is the framework and Ruby is the language you use to write in it. Okay. For Django, you use Python to write in it. Okay. And you can, okay. So This is also to put out there in the end of the video, like after an hour or so. I would update this slide and post it in the comment section of the video, so you can come back and refer this slide for your references for future. Okay. Okay. Manisha has asked difference between UI and UX. So that is a different thing that is not, you can say, right now comes at a point. But to give you a picture, UI is more things like color क्या है, ठीक है, हाउ थिंग्स आर अपीयरिंग, ठीक है, मेरी बटन स्क्वायर है लेकिन उसका बाउंड्री जो कॉर्नर है वो कर्विकल है या एकदम शार्प कॉर्नर है, ठीक है, दिस इज ऑल यूआई पार्ट. और लाइक कलर्स टू यूज, व्हाट बैनर्स टू यूज, दिस इज व्हाट यूआई पार्ट. एंड यूएक्स इज यूजर का एक्सपीरियंस. तो वेन एवर कम टू पेज और मेरे एकदम पॉपअप आने लग गए बहुत ज्यादा और मुझे एकदम लॉग इन साइन अप करने को बोलेगा कोई पेज बिफोर इंटरेक्टिंग विद द वेबसाइट, तो मुझे बहुत बेकार लगेगा. दिस इज यूएक्स पार्ट. ठीक है, अगर मेरा पॉपअप बहुत सुंदर है दैट इज यूआई, बट मेरा पॉपअप आ रहा है दैट हैम्पर्स माय यूएक्स. ठीक है, तो फॉर यूआई यू नीड टू बी अ गुड डिजाइनर, यू नीड टू लर्न दो स्किल्स. ठीक है, even for a good UI design part, you don't need necessarily to learn front-end languages or front-end frameworks or front-end languages per se. Okay, but you need to have a good understanding of colors. Okay, so whenever you have heard about uh, uh, that you can identify this is different color, this matches with this one. Okay, so that comes along with it. और यूएक्स इज लाइक मोशंस कि फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने बटन क्लिक करा, उसके बाद मेरे साथ क्या चीजें हो रही है, एक्सपीरियंस कैसे बेटर हो रहा है. यूआई में मैंने बटन क्लिक करा तो क्या एनिमेशन परफॉर्म होकर कितना सुंदर एक्सपीरियंस मिल रहा है वो है. और यूजर एक्सपीरियंस कितना स्मूथ मैंने बना. ठीक है, जस्ट टू गिव इन लाइक ब्रॉड पिक्चर ऑफ. ठीक है, ठीक है. हाँ, देर आर टाइम्स लाइक graph go down, so there are times that whenever people are not searching enough for it. So for example, uh, just consider like it's a New Year Eve. Okay, so everybody is more concerned with like interacting or partying kind of thing. So they are not more concerned on searching for framework to use, right? So that might go a dip. Okay. Not exactly why these dips have come according to the timeline, but yeah, there are some things that affect the development market. But don't precisely go on those dips. I would say you should look on the graphs which are increasing and which are decreasing, so that you can get an idea of trends. So if some graphs, like you say the spring is constant, or you can say that this graph is increasing or this graph is decreasing, you can get an idea कि हाँ मुझे ये फ्रेमवर्क लर्न करना चाहिए, इसका फ्यूचर में स्कोप है. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मैंने आज ये फ्रेमवर्क लर्न करा मुझे कल जॉब ही नहीं मिली. ठीक है, या जॉब मार्केट में खत्म हो रहा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी फॉर अ फ्रेशर PHP इज द वर्स्ट वे टू गो. दिस इज लाइक माई टेक ऑन इट. I'm sure many of my fellow developers and fellow community persons agree with it. Like for fresher to learn PHP is the worst decision to go for, because PHP is used by legacy websites, or even those which are using PHP, they are also converting to newer frameworks, newer languages. Okay, so for example, PHP uses Laravel, but PHP languages were the worst decision to go for. Okay. Okay, Aishwarya, if you want to become a web developer, you must know JS. I don't want to say that, because you can make with like cool website with HTML, CSS only. You can learn Python and use Django. You can learn Ruby and become a Ruby on Rails developer. So what I meant by JS, or what many of people are saying for JS, is that this has a wider reachability in present times. Okay, company used to make Django websites, or you can say Ruby on Rails website earlier, but now Express JS websites has come into play, and there are tons of library and frameworks for JS, and there are tons of community support on JS that has made this a significant part. ठीक है, मतलब मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि you should learn JS or you must learn JS, but you can or you could go for that option as well. But ठीक है, anyway you don't have to learn JS. ठीक है, if you learn for example Ruby on Rails developer, like yesterday I only saw on LinkedIn some 12 LPA or 20 LPA job hiring. So people are hiring for Ruby on Rails. There are major websites using it. So GitHub uses Ruby on Rails, right? Okay, so if you want to apply for GitHub, or if you want to work for that company, go for that. Okay, so there are some companies that are your dream list or that thing, so you have to go for that. Okay, any other questions, like if you want to answer, if you want to interact with, if you want to go for it, just ping on it. Okay. uh, Now comes the major part. If you have learned some skills, if you have you can say learn them, applied them, and you get some mastery in this, you can go for it to how to apply jobs. So people, more specifically students in first year, they come and see like मैं job कहाँ apply करें, कैसे apply करें, ठीक है, किस platform पर apply. But why I've mentioned this slide later on the street part, because you should know the skill first and then you should apply, right? तो इसीलिए पहले skills सीखनी है और फिर अप्लाई करना. And these are the best platform I use personally, or some of my fellow developers use personally to get hired, or to like hire, even hire someone. Okay. LinkedIn, the biggest one out of there. To So this is not even to get hired. Even if you can build your network out there, right? LinkedIn से जो network strong होगा, you can get more knowledge about what are companies are hiring, which companies using which tech stack, which which new technology they are start working on, which company has got funding, which company is hiring, or what are people out there doing. So as soon as the COVID situation has arrived, people on LinkedIn started sharing that this company has started laying off, or this company has started hiring, or this company has shifted their framework to this state. Okay. So to get that idea, that picture, LinkedIn is that one place to go. So you get your connections, you get some feed, and you get your job opening. Okay. uh, Also, one thing, don't expect too much out of LinkedIn. So ऐसा होगा कि LinkedIn is the most used platform. So like uh, many like you, so there are thousands and millions of people on LinkedIn, and they're using it to get hired, right? So for the same application, there may be 100 or 1,000 applicants. So recruiter might not be able to give you so much time, or might not be able to like ping you personally. So I would suggest there is a different approach to that. So you have to make connection on LinkedIn, and then like what I would suggest is to go for endorsing them, or like maybe giving them endorsement, or for their skills or something, to get an attention. And whenever you get an attention, you can directly ping them, like I want to apply for your company, or I want to apply for this profile in your company. Okay. So that's the best way to go. So first send a connection request kind of thing, then and try to like, there are times that they even won't accept your request. Okay. So build up your profile first. That's a good profile to look at. That has some things to complete. So no headline, or no mention of your education, no mention of your skills. Like it's a huge bummer for me. Okay. Uh, I would not accept it, right? If you don't have anything properly sorted, even if you don't have a picture on your account, I might see as a hoax profile or a bot. Okay. So I will not accept it. So make a good profile that makes you more human like, or more appealing. Then try to send a connection request. Then with connection request, you get an option to send a message with it. Try to use that feature. Many people don't use that. Try to use that feature to like send a message that I have seen you there. I want to connect with you. I have learned about you a lot. Or you like something out there. Maybe some buttering or some flattery might work in your favor. But हाँ, इससे एक थोड़ा personal touch मिल जाता है. Then third thing I suggested is giving an endorsement, because this brings you under the limelight for that particular person. Whenever you endorse some person, it comes on their profile immediately. कि हाँ, this person has endorsed you for this skill. And whenever this comes, they might look at your profile, or they might accept your connection request and all those things. Okay. So that, do that, and then message them with a personal touch that I have this kind of skills. This is my resume, and I want to apply for this particular profile, or even I want to apply for your company. How to get an internship at your company? How to get a job at your company? Okay. This is the best part about LinkedIn. But similarly, you can get even job hiring. So for example, I get a job hiring on AngelList. I look for that company people on LinkedIn, connect with them, and then ping them about this opportunity. Okay. So this is that. LinkedIn you can consider as a uh, more like giving you all the functionalities, but also bridging the different portals out there. ठीक है. So AngelList पे जाके मैंने वो चेक कर लिया कि कौन सी है. तो AngelList is majorly for startups out there, जो फ्रेशर्स को रिक्रूट करने से पहले नहीं सोचेंगे, या इवन इंटर्न्स के लिए. ठीक है. तो इस पे काफी, मतलब I would not name some of the companies that promote internships and they do not provide some credible things. But AngelList is the one finest way to go. So mature people are out, recruiters are out there, and mature students are out there to like apply for the. So recruiters reply you, recruiters even ping you, recruiters even tell you what to do next, what is the next step, how to connect with you. So this is AngelList. And similarly, Insta Hire, more like Instagram, it's more Insta Hire. So you can say even more so than Instagram, it's more like Tinder kind of thing. So recruiters can match with your profile and you can match with recruiters or just job profile. Okay. So see, that's an awesome idea, right? कि एक टिंडर फॉर जॉब्स बना दी, ठीक है, तो रिक्रूटर्स के लिए भी इजी है, आपके लिए भी इजी है, और दीज आर एक्चुअल हायरिंग्स आउट देयर, ठीक है. एंड also I use Glassdoor. Glassdoor should be on top of your list as well, ठीक है. Why Glassdoor? Because Glassdoor gives you an idea of salary package, what is the interview process looks like, the how many rounds, what specifically in one round. So अगर किसी कंपनी के 4 राउंड हो रहे हैं फॉर एग्जांपल, तो ऑनलाइन इंटरव्यू कौन सा राउंड है, कोडिंग राउंड कौन सा है, अगर कोडिंग राउंड है तो क्या क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, like what puzzles they do ask, or what kind of specific technology they give you. Even Glassdoor पे you can get an idea of the rating of the company. So किसी कंपनी के बारे में मैंने बहुत सुना, बट वहाँ का वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस इतना अच्छा नहीं है, कल्चर इतना अच्छा नहीं, you might get an idea of out of it. Or you can also look at salaries and perks that they offer. For example, XYZ company है, they offer you like 30 LPA package, but in hand, yeah, what you actually get out of it, 30 LPA is close to 8 lakhs. ठीक है. So this actual salaries you can get Glassdoor. ठीक है. And then I have mentioned some websites that you can use, like to interact with, to know with. You can see, you can like do in your leisure time. I would suggest you to focus primarily on those 4 mentioned, but you can go on Naukri.com or Indeed or Shine or Cutshot to just to apply for some particular position if their company hiring on that post. Take it. Any other like question around the jobs and internship part that you are confused about? कि अभी apply कैसे करना है? ठीक है. But to be honest, before applying, just make your skills strong, make your resume good, like grammar error free, और grammatical errors नहीं होने चाहिए, और you मतलब दिखने में अच्छा होना, बहुत clutter, बहुत messy नहीं होना चाहिए, बहुत extra irrelevant information नहीं होनी चाहिए. For example, for a developer profile, they don't want to know something of other sort of activities, other sort in the sense that is not relevant to the job profile. It's good to mention some of the extracurricular skills, but it's not good to mention all your hobbies at once. So you could use the hobbies part in whenever an interviewer asks for it. You don't have to explicitly mention your resume. Okay. So you can look out for my online resume. You can go and see like how it is structured, and how I mentioned things and projects, and along with I have embedded links on the project I have hosted on those listings. So मेरे resume में या किसी professional developer या professionals के resume अगर if you see, they have listed those projects, they have listed those things along with the links, so you can go and try that, you can look for that. Okay, take note of these things. So these granular things matter to persons out there. So when someone is trying to give you a referral, they might try your project, or they might look at your GitHub profile or your LinkedIn profile. Okay, you should be very well maintained according to them, right? Okay, the last part is ace interviews and get hired, right? It's the, you can say, it's the easy part. Why I would say is the easy part, because you have done the learning part, you have done the development part, you have skills to present. Now you have to see like what company I'm applying for. You have to get referrals, and then you have to get interview. Uh, so it's easy on that sense, but yeah, it's on the difficult, because there are few companies that you want to apply for, they are hiring for a particular position, और या फिर वो expectations से meet नहीं करेगा, या there are some times कि this COVID situation has come, so companies are not recruiting, or even companies have proposed some kind of hiring freeze, right? So this is also one thing. So that's the difficult part, but on the easier part, you have done a major part, you have learned a skill, you have learned a new thing that will definitely affect your hiring process. Okay, you can brag about it in your interview, you can brag about it in resume, you can brag it about your friends are out there, your seniors out there. ठीक है, मैंने अगर आज नया फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने आज Django सीख लिया, ठीक है, तो मैं अपने सीनियर्स को बता दूंगा मैंने यार Django सीखा है. If your company is looking for Django developer, if your company is when you are switching to Django, you can hire me. For example, मैंने Django सीख लिया, तो I could say कि if you're looking to like some freelance projects उठा सकता हूँ मैं कि I am a Django developer. If you want to make your like if you want your website to be done, you can ask me for help, right? So there is also an option for freelance for web developers. Okay. uh, you can go for freelance options to make website for your friends, communities, and all those things. Okay. Some are voluntarily, some are paid, some are unpaid, some are linked with perks as well. So that's that out there. Okay. uh, Moving on to the last part. So this is like ask me anything. So anything around what you seek for, what you want to know about web development, how to like you get a bit picture how to start it. But this is like what you can ask is what you have questions out there, doubts out there, or about some processing, some things out there. You can ask right now. Okay. Okay. So just to give you an idea, like to start with web development, I have skipped some of things because due to constraint of time, due to constraint of some things, I have skipped them. But to just to give you an idea, like your website should be more mobile responsive. Okay, this is one thing. Mobile responsive is your website look different on laptop and mobile. So your mobile should be more you can say adaptable to the vertical screens as compared to horizontal screens. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, it looks good if you have different ranges for different mobiles or different tablets or different laptops. Okay, it makes it more easier. But yeah, at least it should be able to do two functions is good view on laptop and good view on mobile, because like majority of out there your recruiters, you even yourself, you're using mobile on daily basis and not on laptop, right? So I would make a more emphasis on that part. Okay. So you should run how to use the functionality of CSS or new JavaScript framework that you're using to achieve that mobile responsive, or you can say that functionality on out there, right? Even also one more thing. So if you've learned the React, or maybe you have learned some framework, or you have learned some even language, you should brag it about out there. You should ask for referral on the basis of that. You get immediate referrals in from it. And so what I could think of funnel is something around 100 members out there for the company. You have 100 connection requests. So there is some percentage that will accept it, and then a below percentage will reply for your message. And then out of those replies, only a few will refer you for the job. But as soon as you get referred, you get like you can say kickstart against other applicants for the application for the process. So I apply for some job, I don't get a call from HR, or I don't get a call from something. But if I get referred for that job, I can tends to get immediate calls from HR or recruiters or something around that. Even I get notification when they look at my profile. So I know that they have at least looked at my profile, or they have done something around it. Okay. Okay. Some few things like you should be known about what are languages out there, what are different things you can do. So uh, there are things like TypeScript, there are things like Redux, there are things like Vuex. So these are some complex things you have to decide sometime what kind of database you have to use. So there is MongoDB, there is MySQL, there's a Postgres, there is NoSQL kind of things. So yeah, so you have to be precise what product you are looking for, what company you're targeting, and how to work on that. Yeah, I think if you any doubts out there, you can definitely reach out to me on my LinkedIn. I know this has been a weekend for you, so you must be all enjoying things. Uh, but yeah, use your weekends, use your vacations out there with the most you can say uh, benefits out there for you, for your future prospects. So you can definitely reach out me on LinkedIn to ask you questions. You can definitely work on it, how you're facing some problem or some issues out there. Okay. And even if you're like looking forward to learn something new or get a source of it. Okay. And definitely if you are trying to learn a new language or skill, I would recommend to go for you can say Progate. So they have a cool a wide area of lectures, and they are well constructed for your profile, so beginners can come and look at it and learn a lot of them. Yeah. I guess I should get this back to Ankita, if if you don't have any questions out there.
Yeah. So students, if you have any questions, you can surely mention it on the chats. And I think we also had AMA uh, throughout the session. Like I think that Sarthak has almost solved everyone's question throughout the session. So it went really well. And Sarthak, can I just share my screen? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so yes, it was amazing session. I think there were so many questions. People were asking so many questions throughout the session. So I think that they were able to understand the web technologies which will be helpful for them for this 2020, because right now many companies are looking for web developers, and it's trending right now. So this particular session, this knowledge from Sarthak's side will be very helpful to each one of you. So yeah, and towards the end of the session, I would love to know your feedbacks about this particular Progate On Air. So you can definitely go to bit.ly /Progate On Air and give your feedback, so that we can take up the feedback, your suggestions, and improve from further. What kind of sessions do you need, so that we can come up with more such sessions in future. Yeah. So thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Sarthak for giving his valuable time on a weekend, and sharing his knowledge and experience with all the community members today, answering their questions, doubts, and everything, and telling them the importance of skilling up. Because I saw that few people were asking about salary and everything. But as Sarthak mentioned, what matters the most is you getting skilled up. If you are skilled enough, any company will be definitely hiring you in future. So yeah, thank you Sarthak for joining us today, and thank you to all the community members who actually took some time for a weekend and devoted some time to learn what about the web technologies which are trending in 2020. So we will be coming up with some more sessions like this, like some skilling, brand skilling, profile skilling, and all these things in the future also. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you everyone. You've been a great audience. Thank you.